They're broken down and defeated, deterred, busy and confused, sleeping. You're dying while I wait you to get started. On the journey chosen, wasted, no selected. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. Sober, sad and jaded. They're not coming, they're broken down and defeated. You are dying while I wait you to get started. You are dying while I wait you to get started. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky, yeah. Crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile.
I'm a motherfucking unicorn, a one-of-one. Divide being the love and light, then light and one. My karma is interstellar, I live by truth. Fighting evil, my scars are living proof. Protecting you from the storms with all my might. Love me, I will treat you right. You ever cross me, it's the last thing you'll ever do. With my crown of thorns, I'll wreck you. I ain't playing, yo, Bryan hard, call me a saint. Too bad Chris, because Bigfoot knows my name. I'm a messenger of God, with loyalty I serve. Taking out all evil with his holy word. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand. Slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand. Slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Welcome, one and all, to our season 2, episode 12 episode of Third Eye Live, hosted by Mark, Eddy, and myself, Sir Bryan Bowden, or Bryan Bowden, or Bryan. I will pretty much answer to anything called my way. Hey, asshole, whatever. Well, welcome to the show. It is April 8th, 2026, and that means that you only have 7 days to pay your taxes or file your taxes. Boo. And hopefully a lot of you guys will be getting back refunds. It's about time we get back refunds. So how are you, Mr. Marchetti? I bought you new headphones, but we're having a problem with, aren't they?
Just a little bit. I'm not super high tech. So, think I might have to zip
Plug
up
the
to
dongle in and
yeah
then, yeah,
zip over the hill to the Geek Squad and
Geek
pay
Squad.
them a visit. Find out what I'm doing wrong. But
I don't I don't blame you, because sometimes those headsets, they do work well and they're working on time. I got you the one with the USB dongle that connects to that, so it should be kind of seamless, but let them walk you through the whole thing. And because they're pretty good headphones.
oh
Uh,
yeah, they're
yeah,
comfy. They fit well. It's just yeah I don't. There's the dongle thing. There's like one at the end of the headphone. I don't
yeah.
know. I'm far from being the next Tesla.
It's fine. You don't have to be the next Tesla whatsoever. But we do have to say hello to all our people in chat that are coming in. Thank God.
Hi
YouTube
everyone.
really sucks because they don't give you enough a notification bell. So I want to say hello to Shelly Montgomery. It's always great to see you. Paranormal Paul's there. Texas Cacti. Mr. Bigfoot,
EMR.
Michigan Rob. Yeah. I love you, Weird. That's Jillie. She's coming on in a couple of moments. And who do we have here also? They're all filing in. San, the tambourine man. You have the weirdest name on the planet. I apologize. You can go San Kudo, which is interesting. I always wondered how and BJ, author BJ LaPlaire. How people pick out their names. Do you remember when the internet first started? Like, people were picking out some crazy names,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had the audacity to use their email address, which was their name, like AOL or something like that, like for jobs. Like, so Chris is hotsex69 at Hotmail. That's still your address? Yes, it is. Big Tits 405. It's nice to meet you. Pardon the expression. Mark, I'll take my clothes off for $1. Eddy, can we meet you? Can we see you at the AOL address? Only kidding. This is going to be a great show because I met our guest, and we're going to bring her on. Her name is Jillie Maria, and I was singing Ave Maria, but I threw in Jillie there. I met her through the Crossing Realms conference, and thank you, Bigfoot. Paranormal Paul, who's in the chat too, by the way. His show's starting probably at the same time, so please don't leave. We're gonna get lonely. Please come back, but let's bring her in and we can get this started. And welcome Jillie Maria to the show. Welcome, Jillie. How are you?
Hi,
Thank
Jullie.
you. It's great to be here. Hello. I am well, except for allergies. I'm doing pretty good. How are y'all?
Yeah, we're good. I want to say hi to Daryl Stanley as well too. I just noticed that my chat doesn't propagate properly in StreamYard that much anymore. But thank God they put all these extra features in.
Right?
Yeah, like what kind of shit is that? Beano. Yeah. So yeah, the allergies, we were talking about that. I've gotten new allergies. And it gets so stressful. But I'm really happy you're here. I met you at the Crossing Realms conference.
Yes.
And yeah, you're there. Paul was there, and yes, he's promoting your website. Hold on, let me try to put that on there. I was also promoting the website. There you go. Thank you, Paranormal Paul. By the way, Paranormal Paul and Bryan may be tied up on the weekend of the 2nd of May. Like literally, like fucking tied up. We're going to. It's a long story. We're not going to do that right now, but yes, we're definitely going to bring in your website. We're going to promote it. It's in the description of this show, this episode. But something
Awesome.
that's not was. And I asked for permission first because you always have to ask for permission. If you have a question you want answered and get a little taste, I mean, she's not going to give you a full damn reading. You know, she won't. No person with abilities is going to go, yeah, okay, I'll give you one. No. But Jillie will, kind of touch base if you want to find out some stuff about yourself or what's coming up. I think everybody could use a little bit of, Paul's show starts in 90 minutes, so we're going to have him for at least an hour and 20. Paul, are you still doing the dwarf Bigfoots hunters? No. It's a long story. We won't get into it, but what I was going to say was, sorry about that. Too many people want things for free.
Yes.
And it's not that people like ourselves that have in blue underpants definitely wear blue underpants, Paul. It's not that we don't want to do things for free. I know tons of psychics. I'm not charging. You shouldn't charge. Everybody has an opinion. It's kind of like a former smoker. Smoking's bad for you. And that's when I respond back, getting involved in someone else's business is bad for your dental work. So, thank you very much. You deal with
here's the thing I think about that is that I used to undercharge for my services, and yes, I will. If I get in a space where I'm like looking, if I'm in a particular one of my spiritual groups, or like when I was at the conference and there was one or two people that I just got a sense of like, you don't have to like throw out your Cash App or whatever. You can just say, hey, what's going on? How can I support you? I gave multiple free readings, but there's also a space and a time where if you're answering like tonight, it's like one specific question versus people who are like, how do I change my life? What do I do? How do I get out of addiction? And this whole thing where it's like, okay, here's the thing. You're not going to resolve or heal 30, 40, 50 years worth of stuff in an hour, in 12 weeks.
No, you need multiple sessions.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the things that happens with, like when I'll just backpedal a little bit and tell you, sure. I came into my gifts as a child, but I didn't know that I was in them because I was just labeled as a child with a very big imagination. Because I grew up in a very Catholic family and you didn't talk about those things. And so, when I saw an apparition of the man who built my grandma's house on the bottom of the stairs in her house, it scared the crap out of me. And I kind of stood there frozen at the landing for a little while. And then my mom came, so she was yelling and I wasn't coming, and that's abnormal. And I was standing at the top of the stairs looking down, like, and then he disappeared. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I saw a little girl dressed in white in a field behind the house that my dad was renting in Maine. And that house was like 250 years old. And
where in Maine, if you don't mind me asking?
It was outside of Bangor.
Okay.
And I've had lots of, since that time coming into my gifts, I've crossed dead people. I've communicated with dead people and not crossed them. I have, I was in a sugar mill on St. John, U.S. Virgin Island, and crossed like 20 souls that were enslaved and that were working in the sugar mill, and they got stuck there. And contrary to popular belief, souls don't hang out in cemeteries. They usually go to the space where what was familiar.
Feel more comfortable, right?
Correct. So the thing, and a lot of people have a hard time understanding that, especially when it comes to the southern U.S. and plantations, because a lot of people feel like, why would you go to some place where you were tortured or mistreated or whatever? because it's what they knew. It's the place they knew. And so they want to be in a familiar space. And, you know, far be it from me to judge a spirit about how they do or don't do life. I mean, you know, it's like,
You know what?
it's not mine to tell you, you know, how to live.
No, it's not only that. It's like you're not living under their circumstances. You're not walking in their shoes.
Correct.
So people have to do what they have to do. It
Correct.
may not be right at the time, but you know, it's one of those things where until you walk, you know, this is why they say until you walk in another person's shoes, you know, be a lot more considerate and kind. I always try to do that, and not because
Yes.
a busybody, but I'm like, well, you don't know their life. You don't know what's going on. And a lot of people these days are so cold with stuff. But we're not cold here. Happy birthday, Diane. Big number over there. And it's a big day. Keep going. Another X amount of years. We won't reveal your age because women should not have their age revealed. But it's you don't know, and people don't care. Like, well, whatever. I have my own problems. I remember a bunch of years ago in my old neighborhood. I'm in a bodega, which is like a little, like a gas station mart type of thing without the gas station. And this guy was clearly having a really bad day. And what happened was some guy came in and they were born again. They're Koreans, but they were born again Christians. So, you know, the guy, they're always nice behind me. Happy Good Fridays, you know, like, and they goes, oh yeah, what's so fucking good about it? And he walked out with his beer and that was it. And it's kind of rude, but you don't know what he's going through, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think the other thing too is that we have a tendency to, yes. And I think too, one of the things that I have found in, you know, the 2020s is that we have a tendency to put our standards on anything before 1900. And being in the space of like, you know, when the turn of the last century, like 1890-ish until like 1920, right? This country was in a very different space economically, and people would, for lack of they would barter their oldest child or oldest children for money to people who needed a maid. So maybe they would have their oldest daughter who was like, and sometimes the oldest daughter was like 12 to 15, and you would send her to work for people that had wealth in exchange for $20 to feed your family. And that just seemed like it was logical at the time. And the fact that a lot of people get into spaces where it's like, and even I noticed it with trauma where people, I would have done this and I would have done that. Let me tell you, you have no earthly idea how you would respond to something unless you're actually in that situation. And I can give you a dozen situations where people, and not to get like, you know, all like, you know, whatever about it, but no, when because I don't necessarily want to drop this in the middle of it, but some of you who know me know the thing. I was date raped in 2002. And, that's why I'm like, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, shocked. But the point why I'm sharing that is because there have been a number of times when I have shared it with people, and people have then tried to tell me what I should have done and how I should have gotten out of the situation, what I should have done, you know, whatever.
There. Right.
And I'm like, listen, stop a second. You weren't in the situation, so you don't get to tell me, or anybody else for that matter, how you would have responded to a thing that you haven't physically been in. And a lot of people nowadays like to say to people, because, and again, it's a control thing. It's a subconscious control thing. It's, I would have done this. I would have done that. I wouldn't have done this. And it's like, okay, but you're not living 200 years ago. You're not living 150 years ago. You're not living through my experience 20 some odd years ago. And so unless you're in that situation, well, how come she didn't? How come they didn't? How come? And here's the thing. I will get questions from people. I got a question from someone probably 3 years ago now. And the woman said, hey, I asked this question, but I had to make the decision to pull the plug on my mother. And
Yeah.
everybody in my family hates me because I was the medical power of attorney and I made the decision after consulting with the doctors, blah, blah, blah. Her mother came forward immediately to say, you didn't do anything wrong. You know, I appreciate that you listen to the doctors. I did not have quality of life. I would not have come back. Like, just validating everything that she did. And again, we tend to get into spaces where something is out of our control, where we try to control it by putting ourselves into the space of, well, I would have blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm just going to tell you from experience that you probably would not have done that because you wouldn't have known in the moment. In a high stress situation, your brain literally shifts to another network and it's doing a whole different thing based on survival. And so a lot of us do things where we're like, I would never, and I had someone say to me, I would never have done that under normal circumstances. I'm like, okay, of course you wouldn't. You would not have. You're absolutely right. And in that moment, you did. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's
pardon me.
Again, not every situation. Even, we have Diane there, had to make the call too. I remember with my grandmother, who's more of a mother to me. My mother that's her mom, and my brothers were all in there trying to figure out what to do. She's a quadriplegic, very independent woman, very strong woman, but she couldn't do it. So do you want to keep her on a hose or do you want to let her go? So I said, okay, I'm going to go. And I went inside to talk with my grandmother, who was wrapped up like a mummy. And I said, this is the deal. I told her everything. And I love this woman to death. And I said, don't worry about it. We'll be, we're going to be okay. If you have to go, it's okay to go. And I said, if you understand, just, and she blinked. And then she started tearing. And I said, don't worry, we're going to be fine. I love you. And it's okay if you have to go. And I gave her a kiss on the head. And I'm like, do what you have to do. And she passed away right in front of me, which sucked. Okay. It's a tough call. And everybody's always an armchair quarterback until the shit hits you and the fans, the fan. We had the same situation when we were, in an experience with a lot of the dog man cryptid, for example, which is a little bit different. And we were like trying to get the hell out of there. It was always that one go, well, I would have ran right towards it. I'm like, no, you would. No, you wouldn't have whatsoever. It's just like, cut the shit. And that's part of the problem in this world, because everybody wants to one up everybody else. Sometimes you don't have to one up somebody. Just be considerate of what they had to go through. I mean, people are dropping like flies today.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just, people have no consideration. This is why, like many, many years ago, I decided I'm going to change. As I tell my two daughters, change your attitude, change your life. Right. And I literally say, and I don't care because I always worry about that guy that went into this, like, what the hell's so good about the Friday? I always try to greet people by their names. If they're wearing a name tag, I will call them by their, hey, Alex, hey, Bill, hi, hi, Shelly, whatever it is. And I'll go, thank you for your help. Have a blessed day. Now, my youngest has been doing this since she was little, and she'll one up people and she'll say, I love your earrings. Or she'll pick something. I love your glasses. She will find something, and it's usually, she does it to almost everybody, but it works so beautifully when you're having a bad freaking day and you're pissed and you're like upset and whatever and shit, you're working for nothing. And then this little girl goes, oh my God, I love your necklace. And then for a split second, you're like, oh, you light up. She just went and did it 180. Her whole world that was shitty up to that point, she was like, this cute little kid just told me I had a great necklace. I do the same thing. Paul just said, I try to thank veterans. I see members of our military when I see them. I do it. Listen, the pen was on the paper. but I was like, yeah, I don't like boats.
Yeah,
And that recruiter hated me. Yes, sir, Mark
yeah,
Eddy.
yeah, Brian. It seems like in the example you just gave, it seems like everyone was on the same page.
Which one? The
Your grandma.
my grandmother? No, they were
Yeah.
debating. They were in the room trying to figure out if
Oh,
they should pull it or not. And I was like, I literally went in there going, my grandmother's going to make that decision. And then after it was over, and I kind of took a moment, I went back in. I said, you don't have to worry about it anymore. And they're like, what are you talking about? We have to figure this out. I said, no, she passed away. I mean, my birthday is July 4th. I'm a firecracker. And we went from Maine and drove all day long, my birthday, down to Montefiore Hospital in the Bronx because my mother wanted to go there. And on my birthday, my mother, we got her in there. I'm in a different car. She gets on the gurney and she goes, code blue, 36 seconds. Happy fucking birthday. And I didn't have a great relationship with my mother because the problem she had with me is your bullshit ain't getting by me. I know too much. I know the truth.
Mhm.
I know everything you're up to. And she hated that. She didn't have the abilities, so it's one of those things where, so it was really frustrating, but that's life. Life is curveballs. Some of you are going to hit out of the park. Some of you are going to hit behind, back at home plate. And then some of them you'll maybe bunt or do something else. But Jullie, you are 100% correct. You won't know what to do until you're in that situation. And there's not that situation changes for everybody just a little bit. But I mean, everybody
Yes.
here is
And
terribly
I will
smart.
give you a classical.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
It's something where it's like, every time there's no, you're fine. Every time that there's like a famous thing, like when Harvey Weinstein was convicted, and I had a whole bunch of people in my inbox saying, "Oh my God, what do you think?" And and I said, and they're like, "Oh my God, there wasn't very much time," and I ended up rolling through statistics. And I ended up saying, we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about rape. We don't talk about sexual assault. We don't talk about a lot of myriad of things because they're not what's important to quote unquote the media. And recognizing that one of the reasons I started my podcast was to have the conversations that people don't want to have. And, one of the hardest things is like at my grandma's 90th birthday party, she said, I'm really tired. And it was just the two of us. And she said, I'm just really tired and I miss Grandpa. And my grandpa had been gone for like 6 years at that point. And I said, Graham, and I honestly had, because they'd been married for almost 60 years. And I had honestly expected her to go within the first year he passed away. She didn't. I said to her, when you're ready, go. When you're ready, go. And I said, she goes, I just don't want you kids to fight and whatever. I said, Grandma, you've labeled everything in this house. And she had with who got what. And I said, I have everything. I have everything that I said, every letter that you've ever sent me, every card, I said, I have your voice on a couple of videos. I have everything I need. There's nothing. I mean, there's a couple things I would have liked to have had, but I didn't have the space for them. But the reality is I had time with my grandma, and those were my cherished memories. And so, one of the things that one of the reasons why I like to do readings and I like to, support people is a lot of times people already know the answer. And, people, a lot of times get into a space of, where are my gifts? And it's like, they're not over there. They're not at Walmart. They're not at Target. They're not on Amazon. When you do your work and you start burning through your emotions, your energy and motion, you get to a point where you will upend, you will give the universe signals that you're like, hey, I think I might be able to handle whatever's coming for me.
Yeah.
My first clear to open up was my clairaudience. They've all opened up since then, but my clairaudience and my clairsentience are my two strongest for myself. So getting goose flesh, getting chills, and hearing things are my two strongest. If I'm reading for people, tend to be clairvoyance.
Yeah, that's actually interesting.
And again, I love reading people. I love,
No, I mean it's one of those things when you said clair audio or audio, I don't know about anybody else, and even yourself, Jullie. Like, I know the Schumann resonance has been off the chart the last 48 hours. It's really bad. And that usually indicates something's going to coming or it's going to affect you, and it affects people that have gifts and abilities. But I will tell you, yes, I was tired yesterday and I went to bed with the intention of sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. I was up. I was tossing and turning, and then I was here. What sounded like someone playing, like it's like a clock radio. And somebody or someone's or more than one, I'm hearing it. And then what was really weird is only from a certain position, and you get up and you're like, okay, after a while, I'm like, well, I'm up. What do you want? Type of thing, but they wouldn't say anything. So, oh my God.
Yep.
I love can I sleep at your house one night, Paul? Because I'd like to be in 67-degree weather. See, this is the thing. When it's cold out, you can always put on more layers. But when it's hot out, like it's here right now in Florida, like 90-something degrees, you can only take off so much clothing until the police are called. So that's really the problem we have in this state. But then again, it's Florida. So, who knows? I don't know about the Texas people here, but it does get a little, warm here. But I love the fact that you're reading and have you unlocked most of them over time? Or, I know you started by seeing, then you started hearing. Of course, we're all empath, and that is, raise your hand if that's the worst fucking ability on the planet. When you're walking into a space, you're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, here's the thing too, is I've learned to shift it. I've learned to close it. I've learned to, because there's also certain things like I live near, well, not near anymore. I used to live within 15 minutes of the arena where the Carolina Hurricanes play. And I love watching hockey in person. But I realize even traffic now has gotten to the point where I'm like, like it's too much energy. And, I've gotten to the point where it's like I've said, okay, chatting with my guides and saying, okay, can we close it off so I can travel? Can we close it off so I can, fly? Can we get, can I get to a point where it's like not affecting me in an oh my God kind of way? And I got much better at turning it off and really getting into a space where it's like you don't have to be on 24 hours a day, because that's one of the mistakes that we make as empaths is we have this notion that we have to be on and open 24/7, and you don't. You absolutely can say, listen, there's ground rules. Just like strangers don't get to come in your house, you got your security system, you got your doors locked at night so you can sleep, whatever your deal is. You can also say, listen, I don't want any energy in my house between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. or whatever it is. Like, because I used to have my grandparents would visit and my cat, I wouldn't know they were there, but my cats would be able to see them. That's a problem when the cats are running around and jumping on the bed and doing all the things, because they can see somebody and they don't know what the hell is going on. And so I had to be like, okay, love you all so very much, but this is the bubble. You cannot come in the bubble. And we all get to set our own rules. We all get to set our own rules. And, especially like with babies and whatever, because babies and small children under the age of 5 are naturally in their gifts. They're indigos. So they're naturally in their gifts. And a lot of times grandparents, great-grandparents, loved ones, etc., will come and visit them, and you'll catch an orb on a baby monitor or whatever, and then it's like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, calm down. Go back and set the bubble so that the baby's room is a no-go zone. Like, let's just chill out.
Bring it
Because
down.
people have a tendency to lose their minds over it sometimes and be like, oh my God, what's happening? And it's like, they're not, an energy cannot physically take your baby in the middle of the night, number one. Not a thing. Number two, generally speaking, if they're visiting to say, oh my God, look at that little great grandbaby that we have. Like, isn't that cool?
Right.
So
it's I had to, batten down the hatches a couple of times and just say, literally, you can feel them behind you, like when you're sleeping. And I don't like that feeling. It's almost like when my daughter, she's really gifted, and she would get up because she's nervous and scared, and she's seeing things, she's being visited. I know when she's there, and I'm like, not all the time, but it would always be like, what the hell's going on? Are you okay? And she would like, I had a bad dream. I'm like, okay, you want to climb in, or whatever. But a couple of times, they're behind you, and what I do right off the bat is I just tell them, no, I'm closed for the night. Catch me tomorrow morning. But I'm not answering any questions.
Yep.
And there was one time we were in, I was traveling back to New York. I'm in South Carolina at a hotel, and they put me in like I don't remember the 205 or something, whatever the room is, or 219. I don't remember. It's a king size bed because I'm going solo. I don't have to bring my kids or whatever. And I go to sleep. I am tired, and I have a spirit in there, opening and closing the refrigerator door. And I'm like, whoever you are, cut the crap. And they would stop, and then they would do it again. And I would say to them, I need to get some sleep. I'm going to wake up. And when I wake up, you can present yourself to me, and I will give you whatever help I can give you. And that's how it is. But boy, is that annoying.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing too, is if you're new to your gifts, I want to invite you to set a boundary, because a lot of times people get afraid that if they say no, that there's never going to have any, like their gifts they're going to shut down their gifts. They're never going to have any interactions again or whatever. And that's false. If you say, hey, my closed hours are 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I will have nothing in my energy, in my field, in my house from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Right.
Done. Now, if you're bad with boundaries, you may have to do it more than once, but they will listen after the third or so time you say it if they don't listen the first time.
They will. They have to get it. Go ahead, Mark, because I know you've been trying to chime in.
Mark, you had a question?
You were just talking about boundaries and no-go zones. I just don't need this for the next couple hours. Okay. But that segues into Shelley's question about do you get a certain day, which hers is Friday, where you get more interactions with the paranormal, I guess is what she means by them. Do you have more visitations?
I don't. I don't find that I do, but then I'm also really specific. I've set really solid boundaries as far as like who and when and where they can reach out to me and that sort of thing, so that I'm protecting my energy, number one, and number two, so that if I'm in a space where someone needs something from me, for example, my going 75 down I-95 is not a good time for that. So being in a space where it's like, because I've had that happen. I've had it happen where I was driving down the road and we were at a stop for, I don't remember why. And I was on I-95 South and I look over And normally I'm not like I am nowadays more so than I used to, but I used to just be like straight ahead, like blinders on, just go, just there's enough to pay attention to with the traffic. But we were at a solid stop and I happened to look to my left and I see a teal cab USPS 18-wheeler jackknifed in the woods. And I'm like, huh. And traffic on that side was flowing normally. And I'm like, what the world is what's going on? What the hell? And so I made a note to myself, and as soon as traffic started moving again, I got off, went and got gas, got something to eat, and looked up USPS truck crash, South Carolina, and it happened like 3 years prior. But the energy of it was still there. Like they picked up the truck. So when I was driving back like a week later, the truck was gone. So obviously the truck was gone, but I was hopping timelines in that moment and seeing it as if it were real. And it's interesting sometimes because I will get asked by people, does it scare you? Have you ever timeline hopped and does it scare you? Yes, I have, and no, it doesn't. My most awesome timeline hop was on St. John, and I was in 2017, I think 2017, 2019, around that time. And I was in a sugar plantation, and I just love ruins. I love old ruins. I love the energy around old houses and history and that sort of thing. And I felt this woman grab my hand and say, come with me. And I was pulled forward into the late early 1700s in a sugar mill. It was very hot. And the men you could see open fires. You could see the whole thing, like it was constructed. And the only thing that was left was the very bottom of the shell ruins of it, the rocks and the shells, and a couple of the copper basins. But this woman had pulled me in and she said, you can help us. And I remember her very clearly say, you can help us. You can cross us over. We're stuck here. And so she was going person to person and asking them, do you want to be crossed over? Do you want to be crossed over? Do you want to be crossed over? I can't tell you how many people I crossed over. I just know I crossed everybody that was in there over. I'm getting chills talking about it. And then she said, can you cross me? She's grabbed both my hands and said, thank you so much for helping. And then I crossed her over, and then I could hear my stepdad yelling for me. Like, yelling my name. And I'm like, what? And he's like, where? And so I yelled back and I said, right here. And I was like, wow. It's like, oh my God. And he was like, I was worried about you. I'm like, where was I going to go? I mean, number one, I'm on an island.
That makes it easier.
Yeah, you're limited in where you're going. But it was just one of those experiences where it's like, oh my God, that's awesome. I'm, awesome.
Right. Something to ask you.
So I've had some awesome experiences, and I've had some experiences where it's like,
yeah, I'd rather not have those experiences. But BJ asks,
does anybody have questions?
Will the negative spirits respect those boundaries that you put up? Like when you tell them, like, no,
yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yep.
They will. Okie doke. Ooh. So it's just the time hopping thing, or the timeline jumping, or the period jumping is really weird. I've been in different periods, and when I do it, it's kind of like when I'm at rest. It's not something I do when I'm conscious of what's, going on, for the most part.
Yes.
But it really is bizarre because everything's real and the details are super real. It feels like I'm going back to different lifetimes, which you pretty much are. It's just very strange that it's happening that way. Hey, Sean. So I just want to say that if anybody would like if you have a question for Jillie, and you're wondering about like what's going to happen with work, am I going to meet the one or something else, she's will be more than happy to do a very quick type of reading, but we're not getting into what she would actually do for you and in depth if you literally went to Jillie's website and there it is right there, JillieMaria.com. And you're going through well, I think this has changed since I've last seen it, right?
It is, yes. That's the new branded website, and I'm consolidating the Fire and Ice coaching piece into, so everything is basically going to be under Jillie Maria. And the piece that I have not done is the logo yet. And I think the podcast is going to get rebranded because, like I said earlier, I want to incorporate the I Love You Weird, the mental health part, but also the woo part, because there's a lot of pieces that I feel like I'm missing. And I feel like I have I want to create a stronger platform for that. So yeah, so that was eventually, but yeah, the website's brand new. My marketing girl is amazing.
So your YouTube is going to change from I Love You Weird with Jillie Marie podcast to whatever the new name is, right? Or you're going to keep that and just open up a new
correct
podcast?
I think I'm just going to leave it because the episodes that are on there, the things and the clearings and the things that are already on there, and the episodes that are on there, I want to just have everything be one place. So it'll just be like hey, we're rebranding. Here you go.
Yeah, no, I think that's great, and whatever works for you. But we did have someone in here in our lovely chat, Texas Cacti, and he would love to know, Jillie, what is my connection to Bigfoot?
Texas Cacti. You like exploring the unknown, and I'm also hearing that you have ancestors who were First Nation, and it feels like it's 7 or 8 generations back. And they're showing me that you're looking for answers, and they're also telling me that you're looking for validation of your gifts. So I'm hearing you don't need validation of your gifts. You have them. You just get to choose when and how to be open to them. And again, what we talked about earlier, setting the guidelines and setting the perimeters and the boundaries that work for you. Let me know if that makes sense for you.
Yep. And then we have another little boy in the chat that wants to know, don't call her. What are my guides saying about my job search? Paul.
He's already a host of a show.
Yeah, he's had her on several times. I mean, he has her number. You can give her a call. Hey, by the way, I'm thinking about this. What's going on? Only joking, Paul. Up, and we have big permission to Rob. I can answer that, Paul.
You're okay.
He's good.
So they're telling me 2-tier, Paul. They want you on the one hand focusing on the things you want to step into, and they also want you focusing. You and I talked about this earlier about the catering and the like real job, quote unquote. Because here's the thing: when you, and this is for anybody as well that's in this space, if you're wanting to step into podcasting full time or being a healer or whatever it is you want to step into, that feels like your heart's calling. The thing is, you don't want to put the money pressure on it. So having the job that pays the bills and cross the T's and dots the I's helps tremendously, because then you can, your free spirit self, the part of you that is enjoy doing podcasting or, the voiceovers or whatever it is you want to do, has a lot more freedom if it's like the paycheck is over here and the paycheck is guaranteed. You have a lot more freedom over here to pursue those things and enjoy about it and really be like, yeah, I get to show up for these things. I'm hearing also, Paul, that's not on your timeline. But it feels like June or July. That you guys are saying that there'll be a new job and a whole new world opens up for you from an unexpected opportunity. So just let that just be out in the universe. Best and highest good for Paul. Whatever is meant to show up for him, shows up for him. He's awesome. And he gets that best.
Amen to that. And just so you know, Paul, those opportunities that pop up that were not expected nor seeked or just pursued, they usually turn out to be kick-ass opportunities. Yeah, just like Texas Cacti says, unexpected opportunities rock 100%. And
Yes.
so and everybody in here, we all love you, and we want the best for you too. So, like, you know, I mean, I get impressions on his future. I know it's gonna be good. He's gonna get paid.
Yes.
And you may not, oh, I hate to say this, but this may not be your forte. This is more like a hobby. And if it does pay and you have the super chats and all, that's a good bonus. But like Jillie said, you're going to get paid. I know you're going to get paid. So yeah, keep going. You know what?
It's coming.
I'm like Jillie. We had this conversation. If someone tells you can't or don't go through that door, I'm like, yeah, we're going through the door. And we're going to go backwards and forwards and forwards and backwards and whatever, you know, one of those things, you know.
And we're going to tape it.
Yeah, we're going to tape it. Let me see. We have something here from, let me see. I'm going to get back to everything. Jillie, two-parter. I am wanting to confirm or / disprove previous readings. Do I have past lives that were Native American or of Celtic origin? And do I have significant life milestones this year?
Cool. As soon as I finish Sean's question, Shelly Montgomery has a question in the chat. Sean, two-parter. I am wanting to confirm, disprove previous readings. Do I have past lives that were of Native American or of Celtic origins? And do I have significant life milestones this year? Okay, so let's do the first part first. Does Sean have past lives that were of Native American or of Celtic origins? Native American, Cherokee, Ojibwa, what's the third one? Because you've got a grandma coming through. She'd be a fifth great grandma, is what she's telling me. She's saying, don't be scared to go in the woods. She's like, I know you're not, but she's telling me that you're going to have an experience. She's saying you're going to have an experience in the woods that's going to make you wet your pants. She's like, it'll change your life in the most positive of ways. She's saying, don't hunt, let them show up. And she's showing me you like extending your hands into the ethers, basically. She's saying you're not going to go through a portal to do this. She's also telling me that you're loved beyond compare. She's saying you've been through some stuff. She's like, you're really at the tail end of the healing. She's saying to let yourself be loved. And she's showing me like shooting into the stars, which feels like she's saying it's not so much that it's a career opportunity per se, as much as it is she's very specifically, very clearly calling it a personal development opportunity. It feels like there's nothing in the Celtic side, but the Native American, Let me know if that makes sense for you.
That's interesting. Speaking of which, we need to get sponsored by Depends at this point, because there's a lot of stuff we talk about that will let you short. Third Eye Live, sponsored by Depends, adult undergarments.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
She has a question.
Is that Diane?
I'm finding Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going because
No, it's Shelley Montgomery.
Shelly. Okay. Sorry, Shelly. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Finding even AI, I'm collaborating with it to connecting more of my dots, is telling me that my Montgomery ancestry is interesting. They're telling me they're telling me you got caught in a fire and that you made it out of you made it out alive. They're saying the hunting dogs perished. There's nothing you could have done. And they're making me feel like in this lifetime, there's some tragedy that has happened that you beat yourself up over. And they are telling you to put the sword down, that you're safe to go forward in your life. They're saying even if nobody follows you in terms of like your immediate family or the people around you, you're never alone. They've always got your back. They being your ancestors always have your back. And see this, what, there's something else there. They're making me feel like you kicked over an oil lamp and it caused a fire. But they're also showing me field hands putting it out very fast. So something that happened relatively close to that it wasn't your fault and that you can let yourself off the hook is essentially what they're saying. Let me know if that makes sense for you.
It's interesting. You know, I love watching people with abilities, true abilities, do their job and do their work because everybody's different. Some people just, yes. You literally, you connect. Are you connecting to Akashic Records? Are you connecting to their spirit guides, their guardian angels, or something else, or all of the above?
Generally speaking, it is your Akashic Records. However, within your Akash, your loved ones can show up, your angels can show up. Basically, when I'm reading you, it's like whoever wants to show up and speak to you is going to show up and speak to you. So it could be nymphs, it could be your ancestors, and they generally speaking, they will identify themselves and generally, and tell me who they are. Because a lot of people don't have experiences with for example, their 15th grandmother. They don't have any experience. And sometimes they don't even have experience with their first grandmother. So being in a space where it's like, yeah, they don't have that thing. But a lot of times people have thoughts or they have memories or they've had a dream or they've gone to somebody else and that person has given them a nibble here and a nibble there. And they're trying to, as Shelley said, connect the dots. And so I open the Akash. And basically, whoever's going to show up that is well-meaning and of the light will show up for a person.
Not a problem. Shelley said, thank you, except that really wasn't my question. I was curious if our ancestors are messing with us.
I was curious if our ancestors are messing with us.
And I've heard that before.
Well, here's the thing. They will... I'm hearing not in a negative way. So, for example, my grandma will have me go places. Like, I'll just give you a really, really like true, this happened the other day example. I was like, I don't think the grocery store, but I feel like I need to go to the grocery store. I go to the grocery store and there's a whole box of pussy willows in the very front of the grocery store. My grandpa used to bring home pussy willows. It's a bush. And it has these silken little nubs. They look like little rosebuds before they bloom. And my grandma used to make an Easter tree out of those every year. She used to put them in a big glass milk jar and she used to put marbles on the bottom. And she used to make that tree for Easter. And so for me, that's how my grandma shows up. In terms of messing with you from the standpoint of like trying to make your life difficult or trying to get your attention. I'm hearing we flick you in the head every once in a while, not literally. And I'm also hearing that one of them shares, again, a grandma shares like flashes of color to let you know she's around. Are you in your gifts now, Shelly? Have you come into your gifts or?
We'll wait for her to call back.
Yes,
Well,
Yeah.
while she's responding, we had something from Diane Boss, birthday girl. Julie told me before I had some kind of beings around me. Are they still around me? If so, do you know why? I don't know what that's a whatever. I don't know.
I assume that's a
What that
mistype.
reference. Yeah.
Are they
And
still
Shelley
around
replied,
you?
"It's very interesting."
I have a
Yes,
question on the
they're
other
still
side.
around you.
Sure.
Sure.
And I mind you, everybody, there are storms in my area.
Yeah, you're
and
definitely.
we're on
So you're
the East
definitely in your
Coast.
clairvoyance.
Yeah. So we're on the East Coast, so sometimes we may be going in and out. Last time we had storms similar to this up by Mark. He had like 40 feet of water in his backyard. So hopefully he doesn't have that again. But
You
I
know,
don't-
you don't want to live through anything like that. I don't
Yeah.
recommend it.
no. But we're going to get back to Diane Boss's question.
Nope.
No. Nope. No reason why. Mark, do you?
I'm
do you
hearing
have
they're
a?
waiting for you to. I'm waiting.
Oh, go ahead, Julie. Sorry.
They're making me feel like they're showing me you like peeking. It's like this. So like you're like, I don't want to say you're trying to come into your clairs. It's more that it's hit or miss for you right now. And they're making me feel like they're letting you know that it's safe and okay to open up to your clairs, open up to your gifts, to like, and when I mean open up, I mean like they want you to like open up full color picture fully into your clairs. I'm also hearing they're not angry with you, and I'm not sure why that is coming up, but they're saying they're not angry with you. And your ancestors here's the thing, and I feel like this is for everybody. Your ancestors don't really get angry with you because it's like you have free will, even if you are fully in your gifts, right? Like I was fully in my gifts as a child. I didn't really get into them until I was in my 30s. Okay. There's nothing wrong or bad about any of that. It's just whenever you hit. And, some people, like they were talking about, like Julia Childs didn't have her first cookbook till she was like in her 70s or something. And it's like we have these artificial timelines that we put on ourselves as far as like when we're going to show up, how we're going to do life, et cetera, as opposed to what do you want to do? Do it whenever you want to do it. If you get the opportunity, like I'm planning on going to Gettysburg this summer. Okay.
Are you going to be at the battlefield,
cool.
Bash? Right here, Gettysburg Battlefield.
I am planning on going to the battlefield. Yes.
Yeah, the battlefild is crazy. Don't bring paranormal equipment; you'll get arrested. To be brutally honest, so
I just me. I am the equipment.
I know. I'm the equipment myself as well. So Diane said, I have times I feel things. My grandmother will tell me we have powers in our family. Everybody has the ability to do this.
Yes.
Some people are more open to it, and other people are so distracted or calcified, they'll never do it because they don't put the energy behind it. Mark, you have a question for Jillie.
Yeah. Was that Bina's question about a Bigfoot being around him?
Yeah.
But there was a question about his heritage, and you have this your personal story about how helping people to cross over at the sugar plantation. So, do you find that what you're doing is uh, helping people to make uh, connections to their past, like the native or Celtic family members, or the other, like the sugar plantation workers, to find closure? So my question, based on those, couple examples, is, do you find that you're helping people to, find some kind of uh, healing?
As far as closure is concerned, yes. And often I find that when it comes to crossing people over, I feel just a sense of I feel a sense of groundedness, and I feel a sense of peace when I cross somebody over. Um,
Do you
when I
find that
read for
with
people who've
them,
lost a loved one, most I was do I find what with them?
that the person you cross over is also finding the peace that they were looking for?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And most of the time, as I'm crossing them over, I will hear I whispered thank you, um, and it's something where um, I've been to places where you would think that because it's been around for 200 years that you've had other mediums and had other psychics and had other whoever's there, people in their gifts. But there are places where they will tell you, you can't cross people, you can't do this, you can't bring equipment, whatever. And I will always respect those rules. But there are times when a spirit shows up and they're like, cross me.
Yeah,
And in that case, like, I don't make a big deal out of it. I just like, okay, cool.
yeah, it's really interesting, and I have a friend who will be remaining nameless, that she will go to places that try to tell you, don't cross them over. This is our place and you're not allowed to. And she's like, pardon the expression, fuck that. And she crosses over anybody and everybody that asks. And that's the right thing. Why are you going to torment people for however long who are stuck there? Cross them over, So I think it's,
Well, and
a
here's the
great
thing
thing.
too is, so here's the thing with crossing people over. There are some places that have known spirit activity. And so the people that own them or oversee them or make money off them or whatever it might be have their own reason for disallowing people to cross people, because, oh my God, what if they, what if it's no longer an active place, right? And I have never experienced a situation where you're going to be like, you're most people, I would say, that are coming for the history to like Gettysburg or Williamsburg or places in Western North Carolina or plantations in the South or whatever. They're coming for the direct actual history of that place, as opposed to like, hey, I want a ghost hunt. Because most places, even if they have activity, don't advertise it. You're going to have few and far between, like Laura Plantation is one in the South that talks about, they have a ghost and they have active paranormal activity. Some will, but there's also been situations where you have to go like to other groups of like paranormal in the South type of thing, where they talk about all the places that have haunted, spaces or have spirit activity, that sort of stuff. But a lot of people are just going to those places for the history, like going to Gettysburg to experience the history. And I'm sure that Gettysburg will be very busy this year because it's our 250th anniversary of us becoming the US. And, that being said, it's, one of the things I do want to say too, just because it's been happening a lot lately, is if you're going to play in these realms, for the love of all things sacred and holy, please mind your energy. Please close your energy. Please, if you open a portal, if you do anything of that nature, please close and clear your energy when you're at the space, when you leave the space. So you don't bring things home with you. Because though it's cute and fun to do things until something is at your house and you have a wayward and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell is here and what is going on? And oh my God. And I'm seeing it way too often where people are like, oh, that's really cute. I'm in my gifts and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, can we not? Can we not?
Yeah.
Because it's cute and it's fun till it's not. And there's no tool that I would tell someone like not to use because everything's a tool. But I would also, again, when you're learning your gifts, like when I leave, like I went to visit a battlefield while I was at Paracon. And when I left, I got, before I got in my car, cleared my energy, closed everything off. Thank you so much for the visit. It was lovely to see see this battleground, and I'm done. Gone.
Right.
Because a lot of people want to FAFO it, and I highly recommend not doing that.
Yeah, no FAFO. I always tell people before you go into an investigation or some of these places that may be haunted, you want to, if you can sage. You want to put a white golden light of a bubble of protection around you. I always tell them and make sure there's a mirror on the outside so no one can see in, but you can see out. And then when you leave, you should sage again, say a prayer, and keep that bubble up. No one is allowed to go home with you. And what people don't realize is, it's fun and exciting until, you pick up a hitchhiker, and that's not your intention. Or as happened to someone I know in Gettysburg, they went out and they bought some trinket, and they thought it was really cute, but somehow the trinket got taken over by another spirit that was in Gettysburg. So they had problems when they got home. As Jen from Paranormal Newfoundland podcast says, bubble up. And speaking of Jen, she did ask the following. Jillie, I'm wondering why Spirit Talker keeps saying our land is cursed. Could it be due to the neighbor cutting down the surrounding forest?
Well, cutting down the surrounding forest wasn't the smartest thing to do. That's not it. They're showing me somebody like they're saying never to be built on. So they're making me feel like somebody put an energetic intention that the land stay clean. And the word that they're using is that the land stay feral. Which is an interesting verb, which is an interesting word for land. But they're making me feel like to keep the land clean and to keep the land
natural for the most part. Feral is like wild.
Yes, natural and uninhabited. So yes, feral. I know, it's like, but that's why I was like, okay, I understand what the word feral means, but in that context, it's like, okay. But they want to have so you have communication with the Spirit Talker. Ask them. This gets to be part of your growth journey. Ask them how you can clear the land. And they're telling me you don't have to sage like the whole thing, but they're making me feel like you could do like a small and then set the intention that it ripples out to all the land. But it feels like the curse, as they're calling it, is more of a protection, like an energetic restrictive covenant is what it feels more like. Um,
Yeah, she said, but new houses tearing down forests. That happens, and that
oh,
shouldn't
girl, I
be a
hear you.
curse on you as much of it's the builder. But
Well, here's the thing too: is a lot of people don't understand how. A lot of people don't understand how all of the energetics work, and being in the space of like, okay, they're going to build on it. It's like, okay. There was a house when I was in Florida, and I worked for a builder. We had a housing development, and there was 2 houses in a cul-de-sac that had every problem you could possibly think of, and like tearing the house to the studs, and they couldn't find a certain smell. They couldn't find this problem. They couldn't figure out why the lights were going out, like all these different things. And took about 8 months, but somebody was looking at the plat map for the whole thing and went, "Is that an Indian mound?" And Florida has Indian mounds. And so they were looking at it and going, "Oh,
In the
crap,
shell
that is
mounds.
an Indian mound." And it's like, okay, so, well, here's the thing. Yes, that too. But here's the thing is the houses were built, that particular house was built like basically too close to the mound. And it was like, okay, we've done everything we could do. And I mean, this woman had like 3 inches worth of work orders for her house. Most people have like maybe an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, like 10 issues or something. But this woman had issue after issue after issue. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it happens. It happens,
does.
and something.
Yeah.
It's interesting what Jen said. Could that wake up indigenous spirits? Eagle nest being torn down. You know what? Anytime you're messing with Mother Earth and what they intended, because they were there first in their eyes, but there were others there before they were there. What they don't think is
Yes.
what others don't think is sacred. Others, Indians or indigenous do think it's sacred. So it's all how it's done. There's so many people out there that they just don't believe in this stuff, so they ignore all the bad things. Oh, it's just a bad builder. And she said something about maybe a Wendigo angry. I don't think you deal with Wendigos. I don't even see remotely there. I think it's the disrespect factor that the builders have, and they don't give a damn. They're not believing in any of this stuff. It's really different.
Nope, they sure don't.
You go over to what is it, Iceland or Greenland, and they will literally reroute a road if there's a fairy ring. They will literally reroute around the fairy ring. They believe in the fae, and why not? Because I've seen them. Mark, I don't know if you've seen them, but we'll figure that out. One of the questions I normally ask anybody who's psychic, because I literally test them, and I'm not testing you. I know you're the real deal. But I'm going to ask this on behalf of Mark Eddy. Who are Mark's spirit guides and why do they drink? Yes. You can give like one.
They drink because what else are we going to do over here? We have a lot of free time on our hands. And listen, sometimes guides are spicy and sometimes guides are, very matter of fact. And no, it's not. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're not. The guides are never like, oh my God, I'm drinking because you're an idiot or because you're, because I keep trying to redirect you and you're just not doing the thing. No.
But does he have a guide that's like around him quite often? They may not want to come forward, Mark. They're ashamed of you.
They're not.
I don't know what they do.
The guides are never ashamed of people.
What do they bring?
Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey is what's coming forward. Irish whiskey. You have a grandmother coming forward. She's a great grandmother. She loved to cook for people. She's saying, you sit right down right here and I'll fix you some supper. Very loving energy, very kind energy. She's making me feel like there's something that she's being very specific in the word here. She's saying you wanted to do, as in past tense, but you feel like the time has passed to do it. And she's saying, go do it. Go do it.
See, what have I been
You'll
telling
be guided
you?
and protected.
What have I been telling you?
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
Please do it. You know what?
You're welcome.
I don't see your guides unless they come forward to me. I'm not like that. They would have to actually like, yo. But I'm pretty sure your guides, Mark is one of the nicest, most wonderful people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing, without actually us meeting in person at this point. But I know that his guides that are around him are just as sweet and nice, and they're fun because Mark is fun, and that goes back to his ancestors.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you can be serious when you have to, but they rather have a good time, but without anybody really getting hurt. Hey, Walter, welcome.
Yeah, Jullie.
Yes, and that's the thing too, is people have the notion. Here's the thing: your guides are going to meet you where you are.
Okay. Another question I have based on what was being discussed a few minutes ago was, the 250th anniversary of, the Declaration of Independence is coming up. At
Yes.
the same time, you have the about 160th anniversary of Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, yep.
So do anniversaries increase the activity, or with this double anniversary over the July 4th weekend, is it going to be doubled? So I was just kind of wondering, do anniversaries become overwhelming for a psychic?
That's actually a great question, Mark. And
Not for me.
Ben said it.
Here's the thing: not if you take care of your energy. I will tell you that for me, if I'm in a space where, for example, and I don't think we're going to end up going to Gettysburg over the July 4th weekend, because I think there's going to be way too freaking many people. And I don't know where I'm going to be for July 4th this year. Actually, it's my favorite holiday. I don't know where I'm going to be. But point of fact is that the anniversary that is hardest for me, that I find overwhelming emotionally to this day, is 9/11. 9/11 is a really hard day for me. And I typically, I walk into September and I'm typically like, but as far as being a psychic and having it affect me, typically if you're taking care of your energy, you're clearing your energy, you're grounding yourself, you're doing all the self-care, not in my experience are things like that a double whammy. Now, if I were in the space of hey, I'm opening myself up to anybody that was impacted by it, I would not allow all that energy in my house. I would also not ask them to travel to my house. I might, for example, though, go to, we are planning to go to Gettysburg this summer. There's a couple of things I want to do that are relevant to the Declaration of Independence and so on, the history of our country. But generally speaking, if you're getting in the space of overwhelm, and again, I'm not chiding anybody or anything, but a lot of people that are new to their gifts don't know how to take care of their gifts. They don't know how to take care of themselves. And the other thing too is that I see a lot of people who, like we talked about earlier, are like, I want to experience this. And it's like, can we not? Can we take care of our energy? Can we please be careful and take care of our energy?
You know what's interesting, Jillie?
Because here's the thing. When you're in the space of, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was going to say a lot of people want the experience, but are ill prepared for it. They don't have the constitution
Exactly
for the experience. And then that will get you effed up beyond all recognition. Ubar.
Yes. And I have seen people go through that. I have seen people, and I'm like, okay, I've had people like call me at midnight or like, oh, we were doing this. We were playing with a Ouija board. We were playing with, there was someone that had, I don't remember even what crystal it was, but she had this crystal and she bought it, and she was doing something with it, and she was like, I'm laying on the floor, and she's telling me all these things, and I'm like, do you have a grounder anywhere near you? And she's like, a grounder? What's a grounder? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm going to ground your energy. And I grounded her energy. Within about 30 seconds, she was like, oh, like that hurt. And I said, yeah, because I pulled your energy back down to earth. Like I literally was like, here, sit down. And I wasn't intending to be that harsh about it, but it's like, I got to reground your energy because you're touching a crystal that's going to spin you up into the ethers, and you have no one taught you how to handle it properly. Yes, careful. Absolutely be careful stirring the pot, because you have no idea what you're doing most of the time. And I was, I was at a space. I won't name where it was, but I was at a space, and there was a whole bunch of kids that were playing with Ouija board. And I was like, what are you doing? And, I was like, and it was like, are you protecting yourselves? Is everybody grounded? Is everybody blah, blah, blah? And they were like, oh no, we're just trying to conjure a spirit. And I was like, oh my good Lord. And it was like, well, she's in her gifts and she knows what she's doing. I'm like, okay, first of all, she's under 18, so she doesn't probably know what she's doing. Number one, kids' energy is incredibly open. And I'm like, and then she's going to have someone follow her home, and all these other kids that are with her that are like, this is really cute, really neat. I'm like, no. And there was another situation that was similar to that I was like, nope, we're not going to have that conversation. What crystal was that?
No, Texas cat was playing around. What crystal?
Hold on 2 seconds.
And I'm like, no, you don't.
If you're gonna have a crystal that takes you up into the ethers, you need to have a grounder in the other hand. Period. That's the entire conversation. Because way too many people spin and they get into spaces where they don't know what they're doing, or they open themselves up to, because here's the thing, you don't know when you open yourself up unless you're specifically saying, I want only people who are visiting me that are from the light. Unless you're very specific with your intention, you don't know who or what's going to show up. Now, I can vanquish. I know how to send people back to the realm wherever. Bye, out of here. Yes, black tourmaline is an imperative. Black tourmaline is an imperative to have. You can use smoky quartz, black tourmaline, shungite, black onyx. Selenite. Anything black is a really good grounder.
Yeah,
but again, it's
for clearing.
Yes, selenite's excellent as well. It's in the space of like, a lot of people don't know. Like when a lot of people come in their gifts, they're like a kid in a candy store, and they get to the space like, oh, this is really cool. Oh my god! And it's like, and a lot of times I just get in the space of like, okay, what are you doing? And what are you, like, I'll say, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to contact my ancestors. Okay, well then why not sit quietly and say, I'm opening up my energy to my ancestors. Like that's your whole thing. So you have a portal and you have a sieve basically. So you have a filter. Anything less than love, anything out there that's creep mouse, you don't want in here. But a lot of people get in that space where it's like, what are you even doing? funny thing, I can visit someone and feel very uncomfortable. Ask them, do you have a Ouija board in the house? If they say I do, I don't go in. They think I'm cray-cray, but I don't invite it. Okay, so the thing. And this is true of anything, right? And I'm not saying you should go in even if they have a Ouija board or whatever. But there's a lot of times going into a space, it's like if I felt uncomfortable going to somebody's house, the Ouija board wouldn't be my first question. My first question would be stepping back and my saying, what am I sensing? What am I sensing? What's going on? Who or what here needs to be like, what's going on? That would be my very first thing, would be like, okay, Moldavite. Moldavite is a crystal that is a pain in the butt. If you don't know how to use it, it will spiral you. If you are going to get a piece of Moldavite, you do not need a big piece.
It's expensive.
Yes.
It's made from a meteor.
But if you're going to get mold, anything. Yes. Yeah. If you're going to get anything that ends in "ite," make sure that you have a grounder with you at all times.
Yeah, a lot of energy in those. Shungite is great, but you can't keep it in the same room you're sleeping. You'll never sleep properly. And if you wear it too close to your heart, you may have a heart attack. We're not doctors, mind you. I'm just telling you what's been reported. And when I got my first piece of shungite and I wore it on it as a necklace, probably about 6 to 7 months later, I was having a stent put in. So I don't play around with it. I use it briefly.
Oh wow.
It's great. It's great to block out the RFs and the Wi-Fi so you can focus better. But yeah, it's something you don't want to really. You got to keep them at a distance because they will mess with everything. By the way, I have a chunk of multilite. Wow, Sean. I mean, that's expensive stuff. It's not even. I mean, I have the smallest little piece. It looks like green glass, and that thing was like $69. Not 6-7 as the kids do today, but $69. One of the problems we all have is, and I'm not, I have this with my kids and anybody that was born, people that have a 2 in their birth year that started off with a 2, the majority of which don't believe anything happened before 2000. I asked these questions of my grandmother who's born in the 1800s, when she was alive, when I was younger. But, they're like, did you have refrigerators back then? And I'm like, no. We had to freeze a couple of the homeless and then thaw them out. It's like, what the hell do you think we were living in? They don't get it. And if they don't get that, and they're that just tells me also not that they're curious, but they're not paying attention. They don't do the research. So when it comes to them playing around with Ouija boards or other stupid shit like Bloody Mary, and they don't have to have a Ouija board. You can just have that. You can make it on a napkin with a pencil, and yes, no, maybe, whatever. It's a Ouija board. I don't mess with Ouija boards. I just it's not. Trust me when I tell you, it's not a good thing. You just don't want it. And Milton Bradley selling them to people as like, hey, why don't you call up Grandpa's been dead for 60 years? No, you don't even know if you're talking to Grandpa.
Yeah. No, and the thing is I always tell people, like, usually people will, if I'm talking and I'm getting a sense of the person, and then they will step forward and give me some kind of piece of confirmation that they're who they say they are. Like something that I couldn't possibly know because we don't really talk about it. And, I just encourage people, when you're starting to come into your gifts, I get that it can be like being a kid in a candy store, but you got to use discernment. And there is no like, I'm ahead or behind of somebody else, because your journey is your journey. You started all by yourself, wet and cold and filthy, and you are going to die by yourself someday. And that's going to be, you're not going to answer for anyone to your left or your right. You're not going to answer for your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. You're not going to answer for your husband. You're not going to answer for anybody else. And way too many people have that notion that they have to control things or whatever, because that's why you have a lot of people judging people and condemning people, because they're like, I don't want to be in a space. I'm like, listen, if that person's gay or that person's whatever, or that person's into, woo, or that person thinks that, they saw Bigfoot going down the highway, like that has nothing to do with you, literally nothing. Like, let them believe whatever they want to believe over there, and you go over there, be done.
Yeah, everybody tries to make things bigger than it is. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
There were a couple little comments have been made in the last few minutes. We also want to get into something else, but that was major importance. And maybe my question could lead into that, but some aspects of modern healthcare have greatly changed since we were kids. A lot of times the doctors won't even touch you. They spend the whole time sitting there typing into the computer, their face forward. You're sitting over here. Over reliance on pills.
Computer.
There's just I don't want to just sit there and seem like I'm ragging on people and a certain profession.
You're right.
Even though they have been very dishonest, but that's a whole nother category. We do a show on that. But so I think Jullie, it seems like what you're doing might be providing more healing for some people than the ideologies that pervade a lot of these highly trained medical minds. How do you see your talents, and if that's the right word?
I have watched people who've been in serious health and wellness, mental, emotional, physical predicaments for years come to me, and I have been able to shift them energetically and resolve the issue for them. And I know one person that when she started working with me, she was on 15 medications. She was pre-diabetic. She was morbidly obese. And basically doctors were telling her she was going to have to get the sleeve surgery and she was going to have to do this, that, and the other thing. And she really didn't want to do any of that. And so she and I were working together. And I said, when you feel safe in your body, the weight's going to start dropping off. And when you resolve the trauma and the things that are in your body that are causing you to eat, that are causing you to have weight, gain weight, etc. And she resolved a lot of abuse and a lot of trauma. We worked together and pulled a lot of energy out of her and got her to a place where she was no longer eating her emotions. She learned to cry. She learned to ugly cry. She learned to have conversations she never thought she would have with her children, with her husband, with her mother. She and her mother reconciled and got to a place where they are, good friends. And when I first met her, she was blaming mom for everything. If mom didn't do this. And I said, so you think that if your mom was dead, your life would be so much better. And she said, well, wait. And I said, you think? I said, what I'm hearing you saying is that everything is mom's fault. And I said, okay, mom has responsibility. Sure, she sure does. And no matter how you got to this place, healing it is your responsibility. Getting honest about why it's happened so that you can resolve it is your responsibility. She released about 125 pounds in the first whack of us working together for like 8 months. And she was no longer eating her emotions. She would reach out to me and she'd say, I'm feeling such and such a thing. And I would say, okay, breathe. There's a different protocol for everybody as far as like, are you breathing? Are you journaling? Are you running? Are you doing somatic work? It depends on the person entirely. I ran some energies for her. I used some of my tools for her. She is at the point now where she no longer lives in the same state as mom. They have the best relationship I've ever had. She is engaged. She is living her dream life, which when I first met her like 4 years ago, she was just a pile of victimhood. And, I'm always going to be fat and ugly and blah, 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 whatever. And it was like, yeah, we got it. So you're doing belief work, you're doing energy work, you're getting into the core of things. And a lot of times, one of the first things I'll ask if someone brings a physical ailment to me is this energetic? Because there are times in life when you can do all the energy work you want. But for example, if you have like stage 4 endometriosis, you got to have surgery to cut out all those lesions. That's just the conversation. Or if you're in a space where, for example, you have a really bad knee and you have zero cartilage, there's no amount of energy work that is going to replace your cartilage. You're going to have a TKR. That's the conversation. But there are a lot of things you can do. And there's also a lot of spaces where, like, I've opened up a couple people's energy to the point where they intuitively know and they got the right question to ask their Western doctor. And they ask a question that takes them in a whole different, down a whole different space of tests to run and whatever. And there was somebody that found kidney disease because they were thinking that she was going to have this and this done. And I was like, that's not it. And her doctor was super insistent upon, you're going to go on these 3 medications and we're going to check you again in 3 months. And she's like, that's not the problem. And so she was like, can you please do this test? I'll pay for it out of pocket. And the people at the lab were like, okay, if she's this insistent, we'll do it. So they did it and they found the problem and saved her surgery, saved her, months on medication that was just not appropriate and so on.
It's professional people think because they're doctors, they know everything, and they don't. A lot of people that in the medical field, if you really want a good doctor, they have to be about 80 something years old right now.
Yeah.
Those are the old school doctors.
Yeah. They're retired or dead now.
Right. And that's the truth. So those are the best doctors. Anybody really young or whatever, they're not even doctoring. They go to the computer, put your symptoms in, hit a button, and it comes back with like 17 different things. There's no difference between doing that and doing that stupid search online and go, oh my God, I have mens rea. No, you don't. Stop trying to self-diagnose. But when you have somebody who can see things, like I can see things that are wrong with people too. I've told people, like, you have a thyroid problem. You have to go. When you go there, tell them there's something wrong and you're near your liver area and your pancreas. And they always come back to me and go, how the hell did you know that? And I'm like, I know it as if I know my own name. I'm not going to explain to you. You're not going to believe me. So, go crazy. But we don't have Jillie for too much longer. And she's suffering from allergies at this point. But one of the things she does is she supports people going through mental health challenges and she wanted demystifies weirdness. And that's one of the things I love about her. And everybody should love her about her. We were talking prior to the show, and we're going to have her coming back in. Maybe we'll do it during, I think it's Movember, because that's men's mental health month. And a lot of men are walking around. Really, you'll see him like, wow, Bill was so happy, and then he just killed himself last night. Yeah. Don't confuse what you see, the mask, with what's going on. And one of the reasons why men go through this, it is not socially acceptable for men to have feelings, and I'm going to say it, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm not trying to be sexist, but in relationship to women, there's a whole bunch of pressure on there, and if you come off as needing some help or weak, you're not a man. So they
Yep.
and most people don't care. And that's why men just clam up.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, they do something that is god awful and there's no answers for it. But Jillie, you're able to she's able to get to the bottom. She sheds a light on this. And this is another reason why you need to go to her channel on YouTube, support it. And go to her website and get a reading. If you need help, this is the person to be, going and getting a reading. She's going to help you.
Thank you.
But with that, I know we had another question here. And I'm trying, here we go. From Jaquetta. Jillie, if I ever need a professional, where would I look to find someone?
Jaquetta. Honestly, there's a whole bunch of mental health directories. I can't speak into their, anything efficacy or anything about them. You can always start with going to my website and we can have a discovery call chat. It's 20 minutes long. And we can see if we connect. I know some people in the, in the energetic field that could probably support you. If not me, if I'm not a good fit for you. I'm happy to look up resources for people. But yeah, I mean, I am kind of the belief that you start where you know, and you've been on here tonight. So if you feel like you need to speak to somebody, I would definitely reach out and just say, you can reach me at Jillie Maria at JillieMaria.com. And you can just put, Third Eye Live in the subject matter and ask for a discovery call. And they're 20 minutes long. They're free. And we can just kind of chat through what's going on in life. No obligation, etc. So that's where I would start.
Right.
And again, I know I have a lot of clients also who pair mental health and physical, obviously, with, energetic work. So the two pair nicely.
Yeah, I mean,
Acute
this is
chocolate
really important.
deficiency. I have that problem.
Yeah, this is super important, and you just hit the nail on the head. I get people contacting me. I said, if you ever have any questions, I say it all the time. Oh, you saw me on Paranormal Newfoundland. You got to give me a point of reference, because to be brutally honest, I don't know what the F you're talking about at this point.
Yep.
So it's crazy. So give Jillie a point of reference. Hey, I saw you on Third Eye Live, or with Mark Eddy or with Bryan Bowden. She'll get it. And then you're able to get out there and, get help.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so it's important. And thank you very much, Sean. I've gone through my own bouts of ups and downs. And it's really difficult. And when, another thing is, as a man, when you actually wear your heart on the sleeve and you come forward, and this is from my personal experience, the people that you thought you can trust, you can't fucking trust. And then they flip it and they gaslight you.
Yeah, you're not alone in that.
No. I know I'm totally not alone in that. But I don't do that to people. What I hate when you tell somebody like, oh, I'm trying to stop smoking. Use that as an example.
Yep.
And then you have a moment where I thought you weren't smoking. I'm like, stop doing that. Say, I always tell people when they're going through something, where they're trying to watch their weight or they're trying to do it, I said, don't worry, you get back on the horse. Try it again. Don't stop.
Yep.
Pick yourself up and keep going. And that's what happens. Hey, Undead Jed. I mean, I have questions.
That's a great name.
Even as a medium myself. Yeah, it is. I just think Tennessee Jed and the Grateful Dead with that one. But I can answer some of my questions. I know certain things. I have select individuals that I can just call up and say, hey, I'm going through this. I can't read it because sometimes you're too close. What are you picking up?
Yes. Yes. Same.
And yeah, so, I totally know that Mark Eddy the man you see right here was nice and kind and has the glasses on, prim and proper. Like, where's the history section? Oh, it's over there by that stack. No, Mark Eddy is probably a stripper at the West Virginia Chippendales. And he goes, no, only joking. Mark's great. And I only want the best for Mark. We always have a lot of conversation. And I'm giving you, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer in any capacity. And I can tell you this, I've always said, this is what I know, do this, or this, whatever, or do that. But I can't thank you enough for being on the broadcast. I do appreciate it. If anybody and
Thanks for
everybody
having
has
me.
questions, oh, it's a pleasure. We'll have you back on. Yeah, we'll have you back on
Awesome.
Sooner than later. We're just trying to book everybody, and I love the fact that you were here and able to answer questions, help people in the chat, like Shelly and others.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people need more healing.
Yeah,
And the Western traditions aren't necessarily the best route.
I couldn't agree with you even more, Mark. And we had this conversation prior to the show starting.
Agree 100%.
Yeah, the problem in this world is not weapons, firearms, knives, whatever. It's drugs, but that's because people want to forget how really bad their lives are. A real problem in this country, it's a mental health issue. And we're not addressing it properly. And addressing it doesn't mean taking these pills you see on TV. There's a couple of people here who served our country, and I thank you guys for doing it, men and women. But there are places like in Mexico,
100%.
they're using, I forgot the name of the drug, but these people are having a post-traumatic stress, suicidal thoughts. They're going there and they're taking this, I want to say iocane, but I think iocane powder was from Princess Bride, but it's in that vein. And what they're doing is they're having, it's like a 3-day thing where they're literally breaking down the
ayahuasca
walls. It's similar to that, but more potent. And they confront what their demons are. And boom, I mean, literally in less like 3 to 7 days, and they come back totally different. Like they're not smoking, they're not doing anything. They're more positive because like you do, Jillie, you confront your demons and your problems. Ibogaine. Do you have that? Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Ibogaine. Sorry. Hearing nothing but great things about it. And you can only do it in Mexico. So you'd have to go across the border. The reason why is another national security problem is all the pharmaceutical companies. And they want to sell you pill after pill after pill. Oh, you have high blood pressure? Here, take this pill. Well, now I can't get it up. Oh, we have a pill for that too. Boom. Now I can't get it down. We have a pill for that too.
Yep.
I mean, it's your life should not be, hey, Timmy Conwell, we're going to have you and your dad on. You should not be taking pills to fix your problems. You should be confronting them, and it's really hard to do it, and it takes a while. But you can do things like that. And sometimes you need a little bit of help, but it's not like every month you go get another round of pills.
It will. It does take a while.
Yeah. So, Jillie, where can everybody reach out to you and message you and get a reading from you or interact?
You can reach out to me at my website, Jillie Maria, LLEMARIA.com. There's contact me. If you read it, if you'd like to discovery calls are 20 minutes long and they're free. In the Akashic Records, and you reach out to me in the next week, you will get a 50%. Again, Third Eye Live in the Third Eye Live reading in the subject matter, because I have a lot of emails. Really,
and
been
Mark
awesome.
and I thank you for that,
you.
by the way. We appreciate you doing that. just mentioning the show and stuff like that. But yep, this is her website.
You're welcome.
And I don't know why it keeps coming up HTTPS. Thank you very much, StreamYard, for fucking up our show. We got to look at a different product or whatever.
Yes.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Debbie. You can always come also into the YouTube, and it's a lot of fun here. Everybody here is friendly and like a family, and it's not not everybody talks about the show as much as you become friends with people. Like, oh, how's it going? I love those conversations.
And all the people in the chat can be found on so many other shows.
They're going right over to Paranormal Pulse right after this, or BMRs or whatever. I gotta go watch Blondes and Booze, Brandy and Randy and Donnie Cho on their paranormal show and tell, which is freaking fantastic. It's such a good show. But I thank you again. I wish you the best. Thanks
for inviting me. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you.
And we have a couple shows lined up. We have a lot of good stuff coming up. Really interesting things. Thanks to Mark Boom Boom Eddy. Next week, we're going to get all the guys from Cole's Paranormal to be on the broadcast.
Who knows where that one's going to go.
They were usually here, but I guess he's doing some stuff, Keegan. And after that, on the 15th, we've got the one and only Super Canadian Dave Scott will be on the broadcast, and that's going to just be a fun time. And I believe we're going to have on the 29th, John Iden, who was in the...
He still is.
Yes, he is. He's still in the Yardbirds. But we have a ton of different shows. We have Tommy Cullum coming up, who's great, out of the UK. He's about as elusive as Bigfoot. Sorry, Tommy. And then we have Boone from Otis. We're going to be talking music. So we're not just paranormal. We think music makes the world go around. And it makes,
Yes.
It makes everybody, like Mark, put the lotion in the basket. Otherwise, he gets the hose. But that's it. You have anything more, Mark? Go.
That's why I'm the world's highest paid exotic dancer.
Yes. And it's really interesting because his pickup line at the bar is very simply,
it rubs the lotion on its skin or else gets the hose again.
Yes. And that means he wants a blowjob shot. All right, everybody. Look at that. Mark Boom Boom Eddy. There it is. Mark Boom Boom Eddy. Jillie, bless you. Have a great week. Have a great, hopefully I'll see you at some of the conferences. I'm going to be at the Bigfoot, Smoky Mountain Bigfoot on May 2nd. I may be representing. We're trying to work on getting the Third Eye Live. Actually, not as a speaker. I'd like to be a speaker, but it's later on. And then I'm going to go to North Carolina to UR and a couple other, so you can catch me there and we can take pictures and, make fun of people. No, we don't do that. But if it wasn't for all of you out there, seriously, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. And I don't want to go past the 2 minute mark, 2 hour mark. Good night, everybody. Blessings to you all. And we will see you next week.
You, it's always been you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I've seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you. True love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else I love you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I have seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you, true love is you. Love is you, true love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I would give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you.